Hi, welcome to episode 7 of Empathic Action. I'm here with my wonderful husband, Gio, who is from Georgia, so shout out to all my family and friends in Tbilisi who may be watching. Today, Georgi is here because he's going to help with a little exercise that requires 2 people to do, and so thank you for being my prop today. This is an exercise that I have done in my classes for the last, 8 or 9 years that I've been teaching at McGill. And it always strikes me as one of those exercises that really touches students. I obviously care a lot about empathy and all the ways that we can leverage empathy to create social change in the world. But it also starts at a very, very micro level between people. And one of the easiest gateways to beginning an empathic relationship with someone is through the simple act of eye gazing. So this is a really tough thing to do. Usually it's in 2 parts. Well, I'll invite students to pick a partner and to sit facing each other. And typically what happens right away is that, students start closing their body up, folding their legs and arms in front of them as a way of creating physical disconnection. So I'll invite them to sort of plant their feet on the floor and open their palms, hands face up on their laps. And they do 30 seconds of eye gazing, and then I stop, and then they shake it off. And the only rule that they should follow is that there's no talking during this exercise. Of course, there's waves of giggles that pass. It's a super, super intimate thing to do, eye gazing, and it requires a lot of courage and vulnerability. Once we shake off that first 30 seconds, then the students share what that was like, kind of get some kinks out. And then they enter a 90-second eye gazing, part 2. And that's where some really beautiful things start to emerge. I let them know that in those 90 seconds that they're going to have a lot of things that are going to go through their minds and waves of emotion and experiences, and just to be mindful of that. And at the end of the 90 seconds, we do like a 10 or 15 minute debrief. And typically students share that it's been ages since they've looked someone in the eye. And so that, they're on their phones a lot. So just like the physical nature of eye gazing is sometimes a novelty. But then there's also just the sheer volume of students in the class who talk about how close they felt to their partner, even if they didn't know the student that they were partnered with, and that they, on some level, had like a connection, resonance. They were almost communicating. And while it is really stressful for some students, because as I said, it takes a lot of vulnerability and courage to do that, in general, people found it a profound experience. And one thing that I share with them is that there's research behind this eye gazing exercise in psychology that the simple act of sitting with someone and doing eye gazing for 2 minutes before a big conversation about something important actually improves the quality of the conversation. Haven't we all noticed, especially when we're under stress, that when we're having a dialogue, especially if it's heated in any way and triggering in any way, we don't actually hear each other anymore because we're so busy preparing what our answers are going to be. And something as simple as eye gazing allows us to sort of connect on a much more profound level, and allows us to recognize that, hey, we're talking to another human being with a whole set of needs and experiences, and so that empathy really, is enabled and facilitated through this exercise. So all you do is you sit facing each other, and your hands are facing up, but on your lap, and you set a little timer. You can use your phone, and you relax into it. And it's not a staring competition at all. And you may find yourself laughing or giggling. A lot of things could happen, and that's okay. Whatever happens is okay. Just try to avoid speaking out loud for those 2 minutes, and then when the 2 minutes are up, consider offering each other a big hug. Now, you may be living in close quarters with people so that you can do this. You can ask your children to do it together. You can do it with your children, or your partner, or your roommate, friend, whatever. But I bet you can also do this online through technology. So I offer that up today as a tool in your empathy toolbox. And thanks so much for joining, and see you tomorrow.